Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Wednesday, May 6th, 2020. Shown here is the precipitation for the past 7 days with the observed amounts on the left and the percent of normal on the right. It's been a pretty dry start to the month of May, especially over Nevada and Utah, and this on the heels of a pretty dry April in some areas as well. We've begun our 7-day significant fire potential outlook product, and here we're just showing the first couple of days, still looking at green in terms of fire potential, fairly low across the area as we move into the second week of May. This morning's satellite imagery is shown here. We're seeing a couple features to point out. The first one is this area of low pressure moving across the Pacific Northwest, bringing some strong winds into Idaho today. And then we're also looking at this high pressure ridge that's building across the southwest, bringing some warming temperatures for the day up into the southern half of the Great Basin. By this afternoon, expecting those dry conditions in place across the geographic area with some gusty winds, particularly across Idaho and even into the central portion of the Great Basin as well. This is causing the ventilation rates to be quite high area-wide. So we're looking specifically at those wind speeds, pretty gusty across the north, up to 40 to 45 miles an hour there in central and eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, and then clipping northern Utah as well. Mixing heights are high region-wide. For Thursday, we'll see those winds die down as that quick-moving low tracks off to the east, but we will see cooler air filtering through the Great Basin as west to northwest wind moves in. Ventilation rates still stay pretty high across much of the area. So on Thursday, those winds die down, especially across the west and the central portions of the area. We'll still see some gusty winds in western Wyoming and eastern Utah. Ventilation rates will begin to decrease, especially across Idaho and portions of Nevada, as the transport winds become very light by Friday. Mixing heights are still moderate to pretty good, but with those lighter winds, we'll see the ventilation rates decrease. Forecast clearing index for Utah is shown here with very high values for today and tomorrow, mainly across eastern Utah, decreasing somewhat across the west, and further decreasing of those values across the west on Friday. The 3-day precipitation totals are shown here. We're really just looking at some precipitation moving into Idaho this morning and then clearing out after today. By Saturday, we'll see the ridge build back up into the Great Basin for warming temperatures area-wide. A little bit of moisture does look to come up under the ridge. We'll see that become a bigger issue into the first of next week, but may begin to see some clouds returning to the Great Basin. Now on Sunday, more of that moisture will continue to make its way up, but still expecting very warm temperatures on Sunday. Ventilation rates decreasing across Nevada. On Monday, still looking for warmer southwest flow across the geographic area, but we are beginning to see this low developing off the Pacific Northwest coast. And that guy will begin to move closer to the Great Basin by Tuesday, increasing southwest flow and bringing some moisture into the north. Precipitation totals for days 4 and 5, Saturday through Monday, are shown here. Not looking for much in the way of precipitation, maybe just a little bit as some of that moisture comes up from the south. But towards that Tuesday time frame, we will begin to see some moisture in Idaho, not shown on this map. The extended forecast moving into the middle of the month of May is showing a bit of a different trend. We're looking for normal or possibly cooler than normal temperatures across the Great Basin, and above normal chances for precipitation, especially over Idaho and Nevada. So we're looking for that bit of a change coming for the middle of the month. This concludes today's smoke dispersion briefing. Please check back on Friday for the latest updates.